Hey everyone, Mike here from Analog Attack. It's good to see everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's that time of year. It's almost the end of the year. It's time to talk about the best punk records of 2025. And to help me do this, Eric and Daniel are here. And we're going to have a great time talking about our favorite like 10 punk albums of 2025. And we haven't compared notes, so I have no idea what Eric and Daniel are going to show. So you could get lucky and get 30 albums, or you could just get 10. I think it's going to be somewhere in between that number. I think we might have some crossover, but it's going to be a great time. Thanks for watching. And that's about it. We're going to just have a great time talking about our favorite punk records of 2025. And there's been a lot of great records, punk records in 2025. So there's a lot to choose from. But I think this is the definitive guide on YouTube for the best punk albums of 2025. You won't get that with other channels, only Analog Attack. So exactly, right? All right, I'm going to start off with my number 10. Making D-Beat fresh and exciting again since 2019 from Bordeaux, France. I'm talking about Bombardment, Dans la Fournaise, came out on Symphony of Destruction Records. I think it's super hard to make D-Beat exciting and fresh and innovative without taking it too far away from its roots. I think this band does an amazing job of it. They've kind of got clean guitars, piano intros, almost like new wave British heavy metal guitar solos, and kind of amazing use of pauses in a lot of their songs, which is a very interesting aspect of this band. These little very short pauses that they put into their music, which I love. I will say that 6 out of my 10 picks have women singers. And so this is one of them.
Awesome.
Brianne is an amazing singer, and there's so many amazing women punk singers out there these days, and she's one of them. So if you're interested in listening to a band that pushes the D-Beat envelope into kind of new territory, but still keeping traditional enough, this is my recommendation. Bombardment, Dans la Fournaise, Symphony of Destruction. That's my number 10.
Great pick. That one slipped by me this year, I will say. Oh, yeah. I had a few stragglers, but
I've got they put out a live LP too. It's behind me actually, but obviously this is the one. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Eric, what's your number 10? What you got?
All right. So my first pick is from La Vida as un Muse. They had an incredible year, as I'm sure we all know. I probably could have made most of my list all releases, but I chose this one that I actually thought flew under the radar a little bit. This is a band called Puñal. Sorry if I don't say it right, but they're a Spanish band, and I think this was actually their first, Paco's first release of the year. And, you know, I don't know if it just had some stuff that came out shortly after that maybe took over a little bit. Just didn't feel like I heard many people talk about this one, so I've been trying to push it on folks every chance I get. But super good, pretty straightforward, just like hardcore punk, kind of a little bit of a UK82 edge. But I love the vocals. That's like my big takeaway. The vocals are just kind of like gnarly and evil, and just have like this sort of the delivery is just, it really hits. It really adds to the proceedings. And yeah, like I said, I thought I'd give it a shout. I could have made this whole list releases from them, but this one really hit for me. Kind of spent a lot of time with it this year too, because it came out so early on. And yeah, shout out to this band. They're awesome. And I hope they got more coming in some capacity.
That's actually one that I haven't heard, and I'm not even sure it's made it here yet. There's a few of those actually on La Vida Estimus that haven't made it to Japan yet, so I haven't got to that one yet. But
oh man,
yeah,
super good. As you can see, artwork also very cool, very gnarly. Devil chilling up there, the Grim Reaper. What more could you ask for? The full package on this one.
Nice. All right.
Cool. My turn?
Yeah. Go ahead then. Yeah.
So preview, I have a lot of La Vida Estimus on my list too.
Okay.
But I thought I'd start with one that I would be surprised if it's on either of your lists.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this one, but this is the new album from Aayuka. It's called Abyss, and it's on Sacred Bones Records.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Aayuka has been around for a long time. She used to be in a band called Exploded View that was based in Mexico City, but she's I think she's English and German. I saw her live a few months ago, and she speaks with an English accent, but she sings in a German accent, which you know, I love like feminine art rock. It's kind of like it's just a thing with me. I love Kate Bush. I love Few, After Dinner. And most of all, I love Nico. And you know,
yes,
Aayuka, she sings with this German accent. She has a very deep baritone and sort of begs comparisons to Nico. So if you're a fellow Nico fan, I highly encourage you to check this out. It definitely has a sort of like you know, that sort of art rock flavor to it. But another element of this is it has a whole lot of like 90s indie big guitar wallop. So it gets very small or very sort of intimate, but then it'll explode into these big like cacophonous crescendos of like Dinosaur Jr., Jesus and Mary Chain type distorted guitar, and it just makes the record really have a whole lot of dynamics. And you know, the songs are great. It's, you know, just great melodies, super honest lyrics. I love that there's a kind of like Bad Seeds-esque like sultriness that runs through it, sort of maybe a little like PJ Harvey or something. But yeah, it's just a great record, and it's one of those where I've kept coming back to it all year, and every time I listen to it, I like it more.
Wow, I've not heard anyone talk about this record. This is exciting, actually, because you mentioned After Dinner. They were a local band to Osaka.
Yeah.
They're not from Osaka, and I became friends with the singer of that band.
Oh, wow.
And actually, we're going off topic already. It's fine. I was doing like,
it's going to happen.
For a few years, I was doing this like monthly event of kind of avant-garde and experimental music here in Osaka. And yeah, she played at that like 3 times as a solo artist.
Wow.
She's amazing. She's still making a lot of like solo music.
Amazing.
Well. Yeah.
Cool.
That kind of piqued my interest when you mentioned After Dinner. So
yeah, I bet you might like it if you see it around.
Yeah.
I think the Nico comparison piqued my interest. I've been a fan since, you know, as a young teen. That was, you know, big entry point. So I'll check it out.
Cool.
All right. I knew we'd go like podcast style after. All right, we're into our groove now. This is my number 9. Brooklyn, New York City, came out on Pat from Destruct's Acute Noise Manufacture record. I think a lot of people have been enjoying this one this year. I'm talking about Subversive Right, their second LP, Apocalypse Zone. It took a while to come out. I don't know why it took a while to come out, but it's finally out in 2025. Just I know I like their first LP is great, but this is on another level. You know, leaning into Sacrilege and Verucas, like the UK, like metallic hardcore, but like just a ferocious, lots of guitar solos. And I think one of the things I really appreciate about this record is the natural vocals. I think
totally.
It was a very good decision not to drench the vocals in reverb. It kind of sets it apart from similar sounding bands or records that are leaning into sort of, you know, the metallic side of UK mid-80s metallic hardcore. And I think it's really effective, and she's a great singer too. So just ferocious killer record. I love guitars. I love guitar solos. So bring on the guitar solos, you know, and fun. But the sad thing is they've kind of broken up, I think. So we probably won't be getting any more records from Subversive, right? They were at their peak, but this is like recorded a few years ago, right? It's like 3 years, 4 years ago, during the pandemic, maybe
2022, I think.
Okay.
Been a minute.
Yeah, this is an absolute like ripper of a record. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I was just pretty bummed to learn that they're not active when that came out. I didn't really know like what the status was, but that was kind of one of the headlines was like no longer around. But man, Great
But
pick.
that, like, members are still playing in other bands, I think, like Vaccine, maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I didn't do my research on that. Wasn't prepared. All right. Yeah, killer record. Absolutely killer record. All right, Eric, what's your second?
All right. Next one is this is the crustiest selection I have, admittedly. But this one I was like sold on the artwork before I even heard anything from it. But this is Rigorous Institution's Tormentor, put out on Roach Leg. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get it straight. This is on Roach Leg, and man, I don't know if y'all, I trust maybe you two have heard it or given it a spin, whatever, but it is just such a gnarly record. Like, it is so heavy. I was talking to someone about this record and they described it as oppressive. And that's like the best word I could think to describe it. It just fully like envelops you when you listen to it. Everything just sounds like it's cranked up. Really cool record though. I thought it kind of reminded me a little bit of like Savage Pleasures LP from last year, kind of the similar Amoebics, Celtic Frost sort of like really sort of like chilly vibe to it. But yeah, I just love this record. I don't know. It's the vocals are gnarly. There's some cool instrumental parts. It's very like moody, very thematic. The B-side has like an 8-minute long synth piece that is just like drones. It kind of reminds me, I wrote a little about this, and the best I can compare it to is the scene in The Poltergeist where the little girl's looking at the television screen and it's just like static and white noise and kind of haunted feeling. And that's kind of what it reminded me of. So just like great listening experience. I kind of like it when bands can like add a little bit more texture and depth to something and make it more of like a engaging listen like that. But yeah, this one was a good one for me this year for sure.
Yeah, Rigorous are the masters of that texture and vibe. I love the band.
Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I know I saw some posts about, I know they had played some stuff around releasing this, and I'm pretty sure Sorry State was I figured as much, but man, what a great record. Super good.
Chris Corey from Lifeless Dark was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he said that was his favorite record of 2025. So awesome. I haven't heard it yet. Personally, I haven't heard it myself. That's another one. I don't think it's made it to Japan yet either, that one. So,
yeah. Cool. All right. Well, next up, I've got my first entry from La Vida es un Mus.
Here we go.
Late in the year one from London Clay.
Interesting one. Okay.
Yeah. So this just came out. I haven't had a ton of time to spend with it yet. I got it a little earlier than everyone else, but I've really just been kind of captivated by this record ever since it came out. If you haven't heard it, the band did have an earlier single like years ago.
Oh, wow.
But this is, I think, the highest profile thing they've done. But they're kind of like minimal synth meets UK DIY. Ooh. So they, definitely have like a pop element to them, but they draw a lot from kind of the more experimental end of post-punk. Like I would like early Cabaret Voltaire or Throbbing Gristle and stuff. There's a lot of emphasis on sort of texture and sound and making things just sound really interesting. It's very sort of retro futuristic, but then on top of all of that, you have a vocalist who kind of reminds me of the vocalist for like Marine Girls or Young Marble Giants, like a young English woman bearing her soul. And I'm definitely here for that. Like, it's great lyrics. And when I first heard this record, it's not a perfect comparison, but it reminded me a lot of when Total Control's Typical System came out, and I was just like, oh man, this is just like the coolest thing going. It's like what all the cool robots are listening to or something. It's got that sort of like retro futurist vibe to it, but it's also just like caked in London soot and grime. So that sort of takes the like sugary edge off of any sort of poppiness that it has. And you know, it's a lot more abrasive and rougher around the edges than something like Total Control, but it feels like music moving forward right now and in a very similar way. So yeah, I've been loving this one.
That is a fascinating
Awesome.
pick. That's a fascinating pick for me, because you know how, Paco and Navida are very prolific label.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make some decisions, like I can't buy everything
of
that
course.
Paco puts out. And I decided in my mind that was one of the ones that I wasn't going to buy. But of course, now that I've heard you talking about it, I'm like, well, yes, obviously that.
Yeah, I don't expect it to do home front numbers, but it is very pitched to my particular taste.
Nice.
Station.
I'm so glad you talked about that one, because I you got decisions have to be made sometimes. It's like I can't buy everything. But
I'm with you, Mike. That one came out and I listened to a little bit of it and I was like interested, but again, like budget wise and just the sheer amount of stuff, it slipped past me also. But that's what I love about what he does. It's like he'll put out, some really cool, like harder stuff, and then like home front stuff, and then like London Clay, like when Belgrado came out, I think last year, the year before. I'm like, I just love that it's like such a diverse splash of stuff that they put out. I think it's just, it's super cool to touch so many different bases like that.
Right. Yeah. That's what makes him or them one of the best labels,
Yeah.
No
doubt.
But I wonder if anybody watching this video on Monday, when it'll go out on air, or Daniel or Eric have heard this record, or if you love it as much as I've been loving it. I think this came out in September and it was my fall record. It was my autumn record. I was playing this record like 2, 3, 4 times a day. It like hit me straight away. They're a gothic punk rock band, but they're not dark. They're from Portland, Oregon. The album came out on Blackwater and Agi Punk, and this record really hit me for some reason. I'm talking about Nick's Division.
Yes.
Midnight. I mean, some of these. Okay, I've seen a few reviews, and like I know I could almost predict that what people were going to say. Gothic, female vocalist, Susie and the Banshees. This record to me sounds nothing like Susie and the Banshees.
More like the Cult or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's like big. Yeah. It's like this is not gothic rock or gothic punk for like graveyards and misery. This is for like driving around at midnight in like neon nightscapes, which is easy to do where I live. Awesome. So, and I can see it from my window. So I would open the curtains and put this record on and look out onto the Osaka like neon nightscape, and I dim the lights, and man, it got me dancing. I'm not a dancer usually, but it got me dancing. It's a big record. And I think when I talked about it on the podcast, I think I said it reminded me of the best songs of All About Eve. If anybody remembers All About Eve, they were kind of a gothic psychedelic band from England in the 80s who got pretty big. But like some of their songs really remind me, Nick's Division really remind me of the kind of the best of like All About Eve. But also it's like they have a Rickenbacker bass, which doesn't hurt, which like really drives the sound. But man, some of these songs like could have been like hits in the 80s. I want to say it's big. It's like stadium goth. It's like I kind of invented a word for this, and I don't know if it'll take off. But you know what city pop is, right?
Yeah.
This is like city goth. I know it's like it's just perfect for driving around in like neon lit, under the mirror ball. It's beautiful. I know it's a special record, I think, and of course, Domino Monet is an amazing singer as well, and everything just ties in to make this really engaging, beautiful record. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they remind me a lot of Pleasure Leftists from Cleveland.
That's a good comparison. Yeah,
yeah. The singer has a sort of similar tone to their voice, and another band with just monstrous hooks.
monstrous hooks, man. Like there's a couple of songs that are just, there's some videos too, and you watch those videos and like listen to those hooks and tunes, you're like, man, this band could be going places, but I don't know. Great stuff. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right.
In a better world, you know, they'd be on the radio right now.
World,
I feel you.
Yeah, Nick's Division will be at #1 in the charts.
Awesome. So actually, it's funny that was your pick. That was the one, I think, your first pick on one of the episodes I did of What Are You Listening To?
It was, yeah.
And I remember checking it out after that. So I'm happy to see it come back. Also, I was like, should I pick stuff that I've already talked about on appearances on episodes? And I have. So with that, this is a repeat for me, but my next pick is Negative Charge from Winnipeg. I just love this record. It Neon Taste, I think, is fucking rules. I love everything Josh puts out. And this one was like a lot of these for me, it is kind of like a no-brainer. I saw the artwork. I saw just like the brief write-up that he did, and I knew it was one that I needed to get my hands on. Just really straightforward, hardcore, nothing too fussy. There's some like hot guitar leads, but beyond that, I mean, it's just pounding nonstop, like burly hardcore. I think he really nailed the comparisons with like some little bit of Poison Idea, a little bit of Agnostic Front. I definitely hear some of that like early hardcore stuff, but I don't know. We could probably sit and analyze all day and find little bits and pieces from bands, but for me, this is just, it's got good songs. It's just like, it's got great replay value. You know, I think sometimes less can be more for certain things, and this feels like a kind of a cool example of that. I just feel like they went for impact more than anything, and definitely hit it with this one. Just killer record for sure.
Cool.
That's another one that still hasn't been to Japan. So
yeah, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with it because it came and went and started in like a week or something. But I think there's a second press coming.
I was gonna say, I think they might be doing another round of it, but yeah, just super good. And like learning about them a little bit, I dove in. I talked about this a little bit too last time, but dove into the scene out there a little bit. There's like so many good punk bands in Winnipeg, like specifically. It's super cool, and it seemed to share members and everything like that. So kind of took me down a rabbit hole that adds a little bit of like bonus, like special credit for that record for me for sure.
Cool.
Nice. Another one that
There's too many.
Arrived in Japan.
All right,
Daniel.
So my next one is Ultimate Disaster.
Oh,
the For Progress from Richmond on Grave Mistake Records. You know, Grave Mistake doesn't put out a lot of music anymore, but when they do, it's a big mark of quality, I think. Everybody who talks about this, it seems like they mention just the absolutely perfect recording the band got. It was done at Minimum Wage Studios, which is where like the classic Government Warning and Direct Control records were done, and it just has this like really pleasing hi-fi sound to it. But a great recording is not much without a great band, and Ultimate Disaster are just like a killer band. They sound monstrous here. The music is as no frills as it gets. You know, this is Discharge inspired hardcore and not much else. But one thing that does, I think, stand out about Ultimate Disaster is that they have this kind of like hypnotic element to their sound. You know, I think of like Radis had a similar sort of thing going in their kind of peak period. And there's definitely lots of moments of hear nothing, see nothing, say nothing, where you kind of get hypnotized a little bit. And that's how I often feel listening to this record. I get lost in that like relentless pounding groove, and I just love it. And I gotta say, it ends with a kind of noise jam, and that noise jam, I would call that my favorite guitar solo of 2025.
Nice.
Quite a way to end the record. So yeah, if you like Discharge style hardcore,
who doesn't love Discharge?
Right. Who among us?
All right. switch gears. My next pick a little bit. Who doesn't like Discharge? Who doesn't like the Ramones?
Fair enough.
When Philly, their 4th album came out. I think they haven't done anything for a while. I think this band.
No, it's been a few years. Yeah,
it's been a while. Stupid Bag Records in the US and Drunken Sailor in the UK. Of course, I'm talking about Dark Thoughts, Highway to the End. This was kind of glued to my turntable for quite a few weeks after I got it. It's this band is geniuses. They do like so much with so little. There's just like these incredible vocal melodies. I don't know how he does it. It's a miracle. I know it's like 17 minutes long. There's like more hooks in this 17 minutes than there are in probably 10 other albums that came out this year. And they're very like they don't always reveal themselves on first listen. Some of them are immediate, and some of them aren't. And the more you play it, what seems like a very simple record actually has like a lot of depth to it. Ramones influenced punk, which doesn't sound like Screeching Weasel. It's a totally different vibe to all that, like leather jacket punk that we had in the 90s that were kind of doing the Ramones stuff. This is a different band. There's a sort of darkness to it, but there's also a sort of joy to it as well. The singing is amazing. The vocals are amazing. I don't know how he does it. It's a miracle. But and also they introduced the ballad on this song, which was a nice touch. A little bit of variety. Please Don't Be Lonesome, which is a bit of a tearjerker, but geniuses to do like so much with so little in within a very simple framework. And I think it's their best record actually, but yeah, it's I've been staying up all night thinking about how a band can pull off you know what I mean, like a deep record is so simple. It's absolutely phenomenal to me.
I love that record. I listened to it
Awesome.
so much. I always think about, I pointed this out when I wrote about it for Sorry State, but like it's like something like 4 songs into the record before they repeat a part. Like the songs are so catchy, but they're not beating you over the head by coming back to the chorus over and over. It's like the songs just like whiz by, and it makes you want to play the record again.
It does. It really, really does. Yeah, I did, and I probably will keep doing so for quite a long time as well. But
tough to pull off in the framework of Ramones influence like that. Because it's all that they're all repetitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just they do bang you over the head, but it works. So it's pretty impressive that they took that and changed it up.
It must be so hard to do, like to make like that formula sound fresh and exciting, just like Bombardment do with DB. So, all right, Eric, what's you got?
All right, I do have another.
No repeats yet, right?
Yeah,
not yet.
Amazing. People are getting the value for money with this. All right.
All right. Well, I don't think you had listened to this one last time, Mike. So we'll see if this one makes it. But I did bring this. This is Acid Casualties on Iron Lung, who also had a pretty wild year, I thought. Iron Lung really put out a lot of heaters. It kind of came down to this one and then the Electric Chair Physique split for me. And just I had to make a call. And ultimately, I don't know. This one really resonated with me. I think the sound is fucking cool. Like it sounds really dingy. It sounds kind of like there's something skeezy about it to me, which I really like. There's this kind of constant like fuzziness that just runs through the whole record, but just really well written, really like fast, kind of raw, hardcore punk. That just, like I said, it just hit for me. Another one, I think I'm like a little bit of a label shopper, but not like record label. I mean, like literally like the cover. Like I see album covers and I'm like certain ones, I'm just like, I have to have that just because I like how it looks. And this is definitely one of those. Yeah, just hit all the marks for me. And then on top of that, the lyrics are so fun. They like get into a lot of CIA stuff, a lot of like MK Ultra adjacent, you know, sort of government paranoia stuff, which again, like kind of hits the mark for me. I feel like when, you know, when done well, it really works. So Flags Are False from Acid Casualties, big one for me this year for sure. Highly recommend it.
Nice. That's another one I haven't got to yet either. Yeah.
All right. On a good track so far. I like it. Good.
All right.
All right, Daniel.
So my next one is
5. Ooh.
The Masacred with
Oh,
Air Agitators,
Oh, yes.
which, you know, some people may call this a 2024 release because I think they sold some copies on a West Coast tour late in 2024, but I did not get this.
We'll allow it.
2025. So yeah, it needs to be on my list.
That's 2025. Yeah.
So I feel like just talking to my friends and stuff, it seems like maybe a lot of people didn't like this as much as the band's previous singles. But and maybe I felt that way on the first listen, but really this is another one I just keep coming back to all year. I think this album, I would be surprised if it was not modeled explicitly on The Exploited's Death Before Dishonor, which is like an album that's very close to my heart. It has a super similar mix of like metal and sort of like foreboding UK82 kind of stuff going on. And this is Jeff's observation, so I want to credit him, but he always says that they bring this sort of very Boston militaristic execution to this sound. Like everything, you know, every I is dotted, every T is crossed. The band is playing with maximum intensity all the time. But really, like, what it comes down to for me is the songs. You know, one of the things they're meticulous about is all of their songs have mega catchy choruses, and they're super memorable. But they also, their songs really breathe, and they kind of hang on riffs for a long time before they move on, which I feel like, you know, whereas a lot of hardcore records can be sort of like frantic, this one, it's got this sort of very martial marching rhythm that gives it this like ominous thing, like you're about to get your ass kicked by a bunch of Bostonians covered in patches. And yeah, it's just I just listen to this record all the time, and it's really grown.
It came out like really early in the year, right? I think it's an amazing too. I think we have a Kriegshog situation here. In the
where
sense
both eras of the band are good, you mean?
Yeah, both bands are good, but they also kind of slowed down their sound and went kind of more measured kind of approach, not the frantic approach that they did on the earlier stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which works so well.
I personally like, but I think it divides people. People either like the early stuff or the new stuff. For me, I prefer the Masacred LP to the other stuff, and I prefer the Kriegshog LP from last year to the older stuff. But you know, personal preference. But I like that, just, you know, holding back a little bit, letting the riffs breathe, like you said. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. So
and you got to have good songs, like you got to have good riffs if you're going to do that. If you're like pushing it and like really stretching it out like that, which just more credit to them for fucking delivering on that. Awesome.
Yeah, you got to have something on the other end, like when they're dangling the chorus and not quite giving it to you. When they finally give it to you, it's got to deliver.
Yeah. This could be actually a little bit of a theme coming up for me later, and the UK82 thing as well is going to be a theme later as we go forward. I think my next pick might be our first double or triple. We'll see. Came out on Metadona Records. I actually got the second pressing. The first pressing went pretty quickly, but Muro came to Japan and they bought some copies with them. So it was nice because it was kind of cheap. You know, no postage involved, no shipping. So Revenge Records had them for pretty cheap. I think this is a Jeff Young favorite as well. He wrote a very in-depth review about it that I cannot top. But of course, I'm talking about Aayuka and Operation Massacre. It's like, I don't know, man. it's metal as fuck. But you know, it's like it's that thing. It's like UK mid-80s UK metallic hardcore, English Dogs, Broken Bones, maybe even a little bit of Exploited. Maybe, I don't know, just that era, just ripping guitar solos, but also kind of leaning into the dark side of 80s Japanese hardcore punk, like the Sexual and early Gas and mid-period Execute. Kind of reminds me of the Dark, but not really. It's like way more metallic than the Dark, but they're definitely drawing influences from some similar places. But I have to say that a few people have said that they don't like the vocals on this record.
Oh, what? Oh,
see, right?
Insane.
No. I think like it makes an already great record. It just elevates it to another level.
She's a generational talent on the
yes.
Oh, hands down. Hands down.
They are kind of like unique.
Yeah, they're over the top.
They're over the top. Yeah. But am I correct in saying that she wasn't a singer before?
Right. I guess they
Not
had
for them.
a demo or something where she played bass, and
she's in another band, right? But in this band, they kind of switched up some members in the lineup had changed, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And like Jeff said, everything about this record is beautiful. The presentation, the OB, just the packaging, everything about it. Like Jeff was saying, just it feels like a really perfectly realized like piece of art. And I can't believe like, you know, so many great records that are just coming out all the time. It's an absolute joy, and I'm excited. And I've been playing this one to death, and I hope they come to Japan. And as they say, like 100%, I love that 100% hardcore radical thing. It's still going from who started that? That's where did I see that for the first time? On that super noisy like Spanish D-beat band. Didn't they have an album called Hardcore Radical?
Oh, from Eza Diaz?
Yes, yeah. I think that's the first time I heard or saw that. Yeah. Killer record.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm looking at these guys to see if like. All right, let's carry on. What's your next pick, Eric?
All right. Well, it was going to happen sooner or later. We have our first repeat.
No, there we go.
Because next up.
Oh, okay.
Subversive Right is back. I don't know, man. You touched on everything for this one for me, but I just like more great artwork. I think Joe B might be my designer of the year this year. I feel like, you know, Joe B touched just about everything from merch to album covers, and it's all awesome. But just like you said, this one just hits for me. I was sad to learn that they're not active anymore, but at least we have this. I think the amount of like, you know, the metallics stylings, whatever you want to call it, are just right. Like, I think it's a good balance, and I'm with you on the vocals. I just love how clean and like almost like low key, like it almost that first listen, I was like surprised by it. But it works so well. Like it just adds just such a nice touch that
I think so.
I don't think is good because it's different. I think it's good because like it really sounds good. It just happens to be different.
Yeah.
So I don't honestly think I have I'm like looking slightly off the side to my notes, but I don't really think I have much more to add to this one. It feels like I'm sure this phrase gets thrown around a lot. I'll probably say it again during this, but like kind of an instant classic sort of feel to it. It just felt like this is going to be a big replayer for, I think, a lot of people. So yeah. First repeat.
It's amazing. I think Pat said they're doing a second press right now, I think. Yeah, is that right? Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So my next one.
I love this.
Nekron 9.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
So Nekron 9, they're just like my kind of hardcore. They're from the Midwest, super grimy, noisy, and they have that like feral energy that I associate with like Void and Cheetah Chrome motherfuckers. It's like, it's the wild shit. And I love it. But, you know, they have that sense of wildness, but you know, revisiting this record, I'm always struck by how catchy the songs are. Like, every song is just like doused in hooks, but then they douse those hooks in like grime and dirt. So you kind of have to uncover them a little bit, and it makes them stick that much harder when they do. You know, there's the first song, the chorus is like, kill the cop, gut the pig,
Kill the cops.
sticks to your ribs, that one.
Oh yeah.
And then the first song on the B-side, it's called I Kill Fucker, and I'm naming that my favorite riff of 2025.
That title is taken from like the Swankies "Who Killed Felix? I Kill Fucker" slogan. That's where
I assume so. Yeah, yeah. They definitely like the singer's always wearing a Sodom shirt. They definitely know their old Japanese hardcore. And that riff, to me, I describe it as sounding like Skit Kids via Randy Uchida. It's just like rockin', but just nasty. Yeah, a short record, all hooks, perfect production, like Nekron 9. Sadly, I think they are broken up now, but man, this LP is quite a legacy, I think.
Yeah. I feel like they were so talked about this year. Like at least the first half of the year, I was like, man, like they were everywhere, like on social media, whatever, and like just new videos of them playing live coming out like every other day, and it always looked like, I didn't get a chance to see them, unfortunately, but man, it just, their shows looked like such a party. Real wild stuff.
Yeah, I got to see them at K-Town this year, which is like, K-Town is the best place to see a band, and they delivered. Yeah, great.
Nice. All right. I'm a sucker for like big driving riffs and a sort of mid-paced attack in my punk. I love mid-paced songs. And kind of my next three picks have a lot of those elements in them. And people might be surprised that I haven't picked a La Vida Es un Mus record yet. So I'm going to do it now. Here it is. It's Lame.
Oh yeah.
Great
pick.
Yeah. Lo que extrañas ya no existe. I think there's members of Orden Mundial and Barcelona in this band. Again, it's the vocalist Sally who makes an already great like driving punk record with like, there's just great repetitive riffs in this record, and she builds up a lot of tension in her vocal style. I can't really just put my finger on what it is, but it feels like it's always like moving forward. She's kind of getting like angrier and angrier until there's like some kind of tension release. And you know, it makes an already great punk record even greater. And again, amazing woman vocalist that's making a great record even greater. I don't really have that much more to say about it. It's just great fucking Spanish punk in the style. A lot of it's really mid-paced. It's catchy as fuck. It's punk as fuck. It's angry as fuck. And I love this record. Maybe it came out a bit late. This is like recent, right? It came out quite recently.
It came out in the summer.
Okay, but see, this is what we're just getting now here, you know. We've gotten a few other things, but these things like trickle in a little bit over here. But yeah, I've been playing this record a lot. Just, I don't know. But it's definitely the vocal performance that pushes this one up.
I love that record too. I got to also shout out the drumming.
It's frantic.
that drummer is great. I think I've seen him with a couple of other bands, and he's just like one of those drummers my eyes are just glued to the entire set. He's got crazy style. Yeah.
I don't, you know, they busted out the old Obi for this one, which is, this is one of those ones that's sort of based on the old VAP Japanese Punk's Not Dead series. It's always a classic design. It's been done before, but it's always good to see it. But this one has like a Rolling Stones tongue on it as well.
It's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. But there you go. I think it's pronounced Lame, right? Not lame.
I'm not sure.
just because I'm Japanese and like no, I'm not Japanese, I live in Japan. It's like I tend to pronounce things like that in the phonetic way. If I see a word like that, I lame sounds more natural to me than saying lame, but I don't know. But either way, killer record.
Yeah, when you called it lame, I was like, well, I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
I don't know. Let's know in the comments when you're watching if I pronounced it correctly or not. All right, Eric, what's your next pick?
All right, I'm definitely in repeat mode now.
All right,
I knew it was inevitable, but
there
I got my Massacred copy here. Again, kind of touched on everything about this one. I've had it. I think it was the first release of this year that I bought. So I've had also kind of the most time with it, but I have listened to this thing. I mean, I am approaching potentially getting another copy just because it's like I've been wearing this thing out. It's so good. I couldn't agree with you more about like the Boston thing. There's just something that's so tight about it. You said like militaristic, martial. I think you couldn't have described it better. It's just like a disciplined album or something like that. Just like brute force. I feel like this one kind of reaches through the speaker and kind of grabs me by the scruffs when I'm listening to it, which I love that about it. And Mike, I think you mentioned Chris Corey earlier, and I believe Chris Corey produced this.
Yeah.
And the sound of it is just like beautiful. I just think it's so well recorded and produced and everything that really, beefs all the songs up a little bit. And the vocals was like the last thing I was going to mention. I love their vocals. They're so burly and gruff and just have this like real, I don't know how to describe it. There's just this like blue collar, almost like a working class feeling to the delivery. It just sounds like a dude sitting at the end of the bar who's had a few, who just like turns and kind of starts going after you, which is the highest of compliments. But I adore this record. Have definitely listened to it a ton this year for sure.
I actually had that one in my pile originally, but we could have had a 3 for 3, but
it's gonna happen soon. I can just feel it.
I know it is.
The further down the list we get, I'm like, oh man, here we go. We're bottlenecking a little bit.
We'll see. All right, Daniel, what's your
cool? All right. So my next one, another one from Paco.
Oh,
Kaleidoscope.
Yes. There you go.
Right. So I've been a huge fan of Kaleidoscope like since they started, and I used to think they were like the underrated band of the New York punk scene, but it seems like nowadays, a lot of the original bands from that scene have broken up or moved on, and they've got that veteran status. And it seems like this album finally kind of got its due when it came out, which is great to hear because the band are as good or better than they ever were. The members, they all play in lots of other projects, and you can kind of hear some of that creeping in at the edges of this record. Like there's some sort of like interstitial ambient stuff that reminds me of things that would be on a Strawman Army record. And there's some of the thrashy riffing that I just loved in Tower 7. But at the same time, this is like unmistakably Kaleidoscope. They're like a classic power trio, and to me, they have so much personality. The three of them playing together, and it's unmistakable. I've always heard lots of Jimi Hendrix in Shiva's guitar playing and in his vocal delivery, and to me, that's just like such a unique influence in punk, and it's one of those things that just like marks Kaleidoscope for me right off the bat. So. Yeah, it's like there's a lot to it. It's sort of like UK anarcho, like put through their weird mutant New York filter, coming out and sounding like nothing else in the history of punk. And there's so many ideas on this record, lyrically and musically. It's just they're just a great fucking band who made a great record this year.
Yeah, awesome.
That was another one that I can see it just there.
Same here.
Yeah,
that's a fucking amazing record. Absolutely amazing.
Lots to unpack. Every time I listen to it, I hear 5 new things I somehow missed the last time around. Great.
I didn't pick up the Jimi Hendrix thing now, and it makes you want to go listen to it.
Yeah, same.
All right, we're down to number 4. We're getting down to the top 3. Number 4. This one kind of came out of nowhere. I think actually what happened with this one was on an episode of the podcast, Daniel Zambrano, like he had it with him, but he didn't show it on the show. And after hours, he was like telling me about it. And I was like, well, why didn't you kind of show this on the thing? We just decided not to. They're a band from Colombia, Bogota, Colombia. It's their debut record. It came out on Discos Enfermos. It has a lot of similarities with the record that I kind of just talked about. I'm talking about Infra.
Ooh, yeah.
And Vida Violenta. Again, it's like that UK 82 thing, you know, for the modern age with much more aggression and, you know, really angry, like punk attack. We were talking about how amazing the drums were on the Lame record. The bass on this record is the bass player is just doing all sorts of crazy things on the bass, which I just can't stop listening to the bass when I listen to this record, but mostly stays in the mid-paced. It's super like UK 82 with a bit of that old school raw Colombian attack. They do a Skeptics cover at the end, which I personally would prefer one more of their own like original songs, but it's a minor nitpick. Just such a fun listen. Just a fun listen. A fun record to listen to. And again, just punk as fuck, mid-paced, driving riffs with like an insane like bass player that lifts this one. And come on.
Look at that. The cover too, that artwork is just like, what more could you want?
Yeah,
so
and, cool. I kind of did look it up, and usually with these bands, there's usually sort of members that have been in sort of other like notable bands, but I couldn't find anything with this band. It just seems like they're younger guys, and this is their first band. I could be wrong, which is also that's pretty amazing. That this is their first LP, no demo, no single, just boom, an LP. Yeah, love it. That's my number. That's my number 4. Yeah.
All right,
Eric. What's your number 4?
All right, not another repeat. I'm curious if this will pop up for either of you. Came out later in the year for sure. This is Wiccans Phase 4. So this one, I feel like it was like posted about, and it was like, this record's available now. There was no lead up to it. There was no pre-ordering. There weren't any songs from it, I don't think, put out first. It was just like available now sort of thing, which I kind of like that. I also like made an effort to not listen to any of it before I got the copy in hand. Kind of missed that aspect of like going and digging for something and picking something. I mean, the cover of this thing is like so crazy. Like, it's the sort of thing I think I would have just bought because based on that, the look alone, without knowing what to expect. But as far as the music, I don't even have maybe one of you two do. I have no bands to compare this to. It's very unique to me. All the songs are kind of like very much their own thing. They almost are like upbeat and fun at times in a way that I feel like I don't hear a lot elsewhere. There's a couple on here that are real, like just like pumping your fists, getting kind of, worked up over in a good way. But I love this record. I haven't had it for very long. I've spun it a bunch. I know it's the first stuff they've put out in a minute, and I think they've played live around it a little bit, but I love it. Like I said, I have a hard time drawing comparisons to anything else for this. So I've just been calling it a fun record. Like it feels like a party record almost. Excellent replay value, just really catchy, really cool songs. So highly recommend it. Wiccans from Texas.
That kind of came out of nowhere as well, right? They've been kind of dormant for a while, and then all of a sudden there's a Wiccans new album out, and everyone's talking about it, and like, yeah,
2017 I think was the last,
okay.
If I remember right, was the last stuff they put out. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one. It's so recent. I haven't had time to sit with it as much as I
Right.
want. I
Right.
have a feeling if I was making this list in March,
Yeah.
We had to sort of make a decision about when we were going to do this. You know, I know there's a whole bunch of new records that are on the horizon that I haven't, but we had to make a decision about when to do this. So, all right, Daniel, I'm excited for you next. We're getting into the top 3 almost now. So
yeah. So don't get too excited because it's another repeat. I kind of wonder if they'll get the trifecta here.
Brown.
Yeah, Mike.
We'll see.
Mike said a lot. The one thing I was going to say is that like I kind of almost wanted to hate on this record.
Oh yeah,
because like all the members, they're so like perfectly coiffed and presented, and like the packaging is so perfect, like everything's screen printed, and it's just like I don't know. I like things generally to feel a little more like from the hip, and improvised, I guess. And this is like, musically too, it's so composed. Like it's an odd comparison, but it kind of reminds me of like Metallica in that way. That's like it feels so composed. And normally I hate that, but it's so well composed that I'm just like, I like it. You gotta give it up and appreciate it. And it's one of those records like you put it on and it pulls you the whole way through and like keeps giving you more and more as it goes on. So yeah, it's definitely one of the highlights of 2025.
It is interesting that they put like really nice like photographs of themselves. I think, and I could be right, I think that is a bit of a nod to some of the old like Japanese hardcore records where if you look on the back, they're all like looking immaculate. Sure. It must be right. It must be kind of, I don't know, but
I come from more the like Minor Threat, Minutemen school or Black Flag when they just dressed in thrift store clothes, like look like a schlub and let the music be like. But hey, I'm a fat bald man, so
all right, top 3, last 3. I'm sure Daniel wouldn't mind if I threw a Sorry State release into my top 3.
Please.
Would you like to hazard a guess what it is? Based on what I just said a few minutes ago about like mid-paced riffs and like punk as fuck record.
Well, you have very kindly shouted out several Sorry State releases over the years or over the year, but you have been talking about Plasma a lot lately. So
hey,
there it is. This is another one. I'll be honest, like on first or second listen, I was like, yeah, I like this, but then it kind of obviously it doesn't sound like the Dark Thoughts record, but it has that same effect where the more I played it, this kind of on the surface quite simple sounding record like had a lot of depth to it, which I really appreciated. And so yeah, it made me kind of play it again and again and again and again and again. And I like the way it kind of mixes like traditional or old like classic Finnish hardcore with kind of like newer stuff like Koti, Tahoa. It's kind of that perfect bridge between the two generations, I want to say. Again, amazing singer. Just that like the bouncing bass lines, just the relentless catchy riffs. Just classic fucking Finnish punk. And it's just beautiful to see like an amazing like Finnish punk record in 2025. And I love this record. So thanks, Daniel, for putting this up. But I have to say, it wasn't only you, it was Nunchak Punk and Little Jan's Hammer as well, right? But it's a free label collaboration, right? So yeah.
It's cool to see both of these records on screen right now because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the artwork for Plasma is done by someone from Aayuka.
It is. I gave him a lot of photos because I took a picture of this record with my own camera and then used it for the thumbnail for this episode. And it is done by, I credited him actually on the thing. It is a member of Aayuka, right? He did the artwork for this.
Yeah, I know it's what is his name? Mateo?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he's been in lots of bands.
Okay,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I realized until I saw Eric said something that he was also in Aayuka.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I'll give credit. I'm
gave him a
pretty
lot of
sure it
credit.
was Jeff who called that out initially. Too,
Oh, okay.
So I won't take that detective work. I think that seed was planted a minute ago.
Plasma for fans of old classic Finnish hardcore, and for the new breed of Finnish bands. Just fucking great record. So that's my number 3. My third favorite record of 2025 is Plasma.
Awesome.
All right, Eric, what's your number 3?
It's getting
now. We're down to the top 3.
So appropriately enough, for number 3 for me is our first all 3.
There you go.
There it is. It was going to happen. I really don't have much to add at this point. I think you two covered it pretty well.
It's all tough, right?
But yeah, this is like a near perfect record for me. No complaints. It's just, I think I saw it like randomly posted. Maybe one of the band members posted it on their Instagram, and I was kind of interested. And truth be told, I was initially like, if this doesn't get any distribution, I'll never get my hands on it. Shipping is just brutal right now. And of course, I kept an eye on Sorry State, and I was fortunate enough to swoop in and get a copy. So I've had some time with this one, and just, again, with what you two have said about it, it rips. It just rules. And the vocals, in my opinion, are like maybe the best part of this record for me.
Right?
I've seen, which is funny to hear that some people maybe didn't like them. And I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but for me, the vocals just put it over the top. There's so good.
Just for the screenshots here.
That's the one. But like, I just think the vocals really like add so much to it and really put it over the top and kind of match the music. And another band that I've watched a lot of videos, like live performances. I mean, they're like the real deal. She's the real deal. Like, looks like just, I don't know, transcending to another place during their performances. And I love that shit. That's what I want to see when I go see a band play. You know what I mean? I want to see something like exciting or like weird or out there or different. So it really works for me.
And now that you say that, it makes me think of how I was talking about how composed the music feels, and the vocals are almost borderline unhinged at places.
Yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
But it strikes such a perfect balance between the two.
Yeah.
You know, they really lean on each other in a cool way.
Absolutely.
I love that we got the 3, because this is like one in the eye for the haters. This is proof.
right.
This is a great fucking record, and like we scientifically proved it here.
Right. 3 people can't be wrong. I was going to shout out too, just like the packaging too, one more time. Like I said before, as someone who's like looking for something visually appealing too. I know it was already touched on, but man, what a beautiful package! Like the inserts, the strip, like the silk screen. It's just, I love it. I love just the whole the visceral experience of listening to this thing. So big one for me.
Lovely.
Yeah, you're talking about the day it hit. I always remember like when it landed on the internet, like the Sorry State Slack that day just blew up. Like
I bet, yeah.
Do it, and everybody's just like, "What is this? Like, when are we getting them?" Like,
I think actually Jackie from Revenge, like I think he wrote it on his website. He said that also when he would be playing it in the store, he got a lot of comments about it. Who is this band? Is it an old Japanese band I've never heard of? Stuff like that. And he wrote about it in his write-up about the record. So.
Cool. All right. Next up, my third La Vida Somos pick.
Oh.
Torrega Noventa y Uno. With Chaos Total. So Torrega Noventa y Uno, they had an earlier EP that Paco also put out that was like, I loved that EP, but it was in a completely different style than this. Well, maybe not completely different, but different enough. I was listening to it again last night just to like compare, and like Mike, you probably remember on that message board, I feel like the term ramshackle D beat.
Ramshackle D beat with no bass.
Oh, that's what it was. I forgot the no bass. Yeah, I think they had a bass on that earlier EP, but it was definitely had some ramshackle vibes. So when this one came out, and I remember talking a lot with Usman at Sorry State about this, it was just like, this is not what I was expecting at all, because like the production's really clean and the playing is like mega tight, like, and it's just, it has this sort of like crispness to it that was like, you know, their other one was much more sort of blurry, but once I sort of got past that initial shock, I just love this album. And it's sort of like The Ultimate Disaster. It's very minimal and like not pretentious at all. Like there's no sort of flash about it. It's just simple riffy punk songs played with like power, precision, and clarity. It reminds me kind of like circa 1990 Totalitar. You know, great fucking riffs, like driving, and you know, I probably would have listened to it and been like, this is cool, and moved on. But every year I always have like a playlist going of like contemporary releases, and I'll listen to them on shuffle. And every time this would come up, the first song would come on, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this? And then like I look and it's this, you know? And after like 5 times of that, it's just like, oh, I just need to listen to this all the time. And it's just been like, you know, it's been kind of a palate cleanser record, you know, because it's so sort of like simple and direct. It just reminds you kind of what hardcore punk should be.
Right.
So yeah, if you're a traditionalist in your D-beat taste, this one's definitely worth checking out.
Like the yin and the yang to Bombardment, perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes. Excellent.
Didn't we say that we probably like have one record that nobody else most definitely doesn't have in their 10?
Yeah.
This is mine. If someone else has this, I'll be absolutely stunned. This is from England. It came out a bit earlier this year, and it just grabbed me like right from the get-go. This band is from the area of the UK where I grew up, Somerset, like deepest, darkest Somerset. I know there's a photo on the cover. I'll show you in a second, but there's a photo on the cover. I know exactly where and what the place is on the cover of the record. I've been to that town like many times when I was a kid. I don't know if that influenced, you know, the way I listen to this record or not. I'm talking about AAA Gripper, Triple A Gripper. This record, man, I think like what happened was during the pandemic, a couple of the guys in the band were in a studio. They jammed for like 40 hours, just the drummer and the bass player, just drumming and jamming out in the studio, and they recorded it all, and that was it. And I think a while later they went back and distilled those drum and bass tracks down to like 32 minutes and made a record out of it with like razor sharp guitars and a vocalist that kind of sounds like a cross between Marky Smith and Hugh Cornwell from the Stranglers. It's a really unique record. They did list a few of their influences on the cover. I mean, for the rhythm section, there's definitely like No Means No and Fugazi, just the rhythm section. But it's insane how they kind of made this record out of 40 hours of just 2 guys
That's
in
so
the
cool.
studio. I think this record is amazing. There's like a couple of promo videos they did. If you watch them, it makes the songs sound even better. There's nothing really that sounds like this that came out this year. It's a bit of a left field pick, but this is probably one of my most played records of the year. And I think Joe Thompson from Wrong Speed Records has been bugging Daniel a little bit. And I think this is available from Sorry State Records.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I really like it too. You know, like The Fall is my favorite band, and there's clearly so much of that in their DNA. And I thought about bringing the record just because I was like, you're probably going to think no one else will have it, but yeah, we do have it, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so passionate. I want people to check this record out. I mean, maybe I'm so enthusiastic about this. I even have I have the Wrong Speed Records tea towel behind me. Joe is a great guy. I think his label is just as important as La Vida Es and Merciful Drunken Sailor. He releases whatever he wants. It's a very eclectic label. And I think his label deserves more recognition outside of the UK. And I think this is just a captivating, original sounding record. And I don't even like The Fall.
What?
This episode's about to get like 45 minutes longer.
So that, that tells you something. I don't know. There's a song on here called Wasp Women. If you watch the video of that, I know it's incredible. But yeah, this is my number 2. And I was telling Joe, sorry, for half a year, this is my number 1 record. And I told him, sorry, it's been ousted by another record. But I think he's still happy that it's number 2. But AAA gripper. We invented work for the common good. Great lyrics too about work and the daily drudgery of life in the UK. And this is an old brewery in the town of Shepton Mallet in the UK. So all these little things kind of add up to making me like it more, maybe. But nevertheless, I don't think anybody else is going to show this record tonight. So I love it. I think it's amazing.
I've not actually heard of this before now, so you're safe, at least from my picks, that
everybody
it will be included. So thank you.
Pick it up from Sorry State Records. I assume you have some stock in.
We do.
Exactly. All right, Eric, what's your second favorite record of 2025?
Right. So this is actually another one that I did have on the show previously. But this one, I was really looking forward to this coming out. It definitely delivered. I just think it's an important record. I love how it sounds. I love the music itself, but there's something more to it than that. It's Why Does Paradise Begin in Hell by Haram from New York City. This is on Toxic State. I just love this record. It's very unique. It's hardcore punk through and through, but there's a lot of Middle Eastern influence. There's a lot of very especially in the rhythm section, there's a lot of really nice groove, almost danceable at times. But like I said, I mean, even I could dissect the music a little bit more, I think, but just beyond that, it's just a powerful record with a powerful and very potent message. I think that's very relevant in 2025 and probably 2024 or 2020, probably the past long amount of time. But I think the punk scene really turned out in a lot of ways, in very strong ways, for benefits, and you know what I mean, and throwing shows for Palestinian aid and all sorts of other things. And that's without getting too mopey about it, it's the kind of record where I'm this is why I love this fucking music and this scene, beyond the cool covers and the riffs and all that. This to me is this kind of makes me, again, I feel this is going to sound so corny, but it's makes me proud to like this kind of music, where I'm glad that at least a large portion of the scene is on the right side of things, has the right kinds of thoughts in their minds and ideologies and all of that. So without getting too deep into it, I just think this record really nailed it for me, thematically, but again, sonically also. The songs are just fucking awesome. All of it just top down, like I said, very danceable, dare I say fun also at times for such serious and strong lyrical content. But yeah, this one was a big one for me for sure. Great release.
Yeah, so I put my next pick where I did because I was really hoping that Eric would talk about it before I had.
Yes.
Yeah. I've sort of seen on social media that you're a big fan of this record, and I was I'm gonna hope he does it earlier in the show. But you're absolutely right. I've been following Haram since they started, and it feels like to me, I don't know if this is the case, that they said like, okay, let's sit down and let's make our music be as kind of like revolutionary and as exciting as the lyrics and vocals have always been. Like they just really like stepped it up here. And like you said, they incorporate all of those Middle Eastern like scales and melodies and stuff, and it sounds cool. Not a lot of other people are doing it, and it's like politically potent. It's just cool all the way around. The record is like a whole journey. It goes to all these different places. It has this like gravitas about it that to me is just like undeniable. You know, it's a great record. Yeah, Hail Haram.
The best.
Nice. All right, we're down to our favorite record of 2025. Mine is a La Vida SMS record. I actually toyed with the idea of doing like a 25-30 minute review of this record. I love it so much, and now I'm going to struggle now to talk about it for 2 minutes because I did kind of go into it in a bit of depth on the podcast, but Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, I assume this record's been keeping Daniel and his staff busy at the store, shipping out copies of this record. I think to me it's just a really special record. I haven't felt this way about a record in a long time. It hit me in a really emotional way that I wasn't anticipating. It kind of similar to what Eric was saying, but not necessarily as straightforwardly political, but more about like personal issues. I'm talking about, of course, Homefront, Watch It Die. And I know it might be an obvious pick for some people, or maybe not. I'm not sure, but I know this is a special. This record, it takes me back to when I was younger, and I would take time to really sit with the record and really get to know it. Because I feel even, you know, we're people that buy vinyl and CDs and stuff, and I feel like sometimes it still can feel like a bit of a conveyor belt of listening at times. This record really made me like stop and sit down and spend a lot of time with it. You know, it's been talked about so much already, and you know, they are mining that era of Blitz and The Cure and the Angelic Upstarts, and also a lot of other things that people haven't sort of mentioned yet. There's a lot of stuff going on in this record that is taken from the past, mostly the 80s, but they managed to turn all of that stuff into something just fresh and exciting. And I think they're a super important band. You can tell that they spent a lot of time making every song be as good as it can possibly be. Just the attention to detail, just small things that other bands might not have thought of doing in a song. And I think it's already a classic to me. And yeah, special record to me. Homefront, Watch It Die, 10 out of 10 record, perfection.
No doubt.
This is my favorite record of 2025. And I want to say like so much more about it, but I think I've said enough for today. There you go. That's Homefront.
Beautiful.
Watch It Die, La Vida SMS. I'm proud of this band. I think they took their time to make this record, and I think they just made an absolute class. I'm worried about this band, though. I'm worried that they're going to be getting some offers from like bigger labels, but I don't think they're going to do a Chisel and like and Jump labels, and I don't think so. But, all right, Eric, what's your number one?
All right. This was a difficult decision. This was early on in the year, as you both know. this was early on in the year when it came out. I was like, this has got to be number one. That kind of morphed a little bit as time went on, but ultimately I had to just come back to this one. It is a repeat, but maybe not the repeat you're expecting. My number one, I got to give it to Nekron 9. It just, this to me is, so these last picks I'm going to be like a little more whatever about. If it's corny, it's corny. I don't give a shit. This to me is just like such a pure expression of like young, righteous anger and just like, fuck it. And just, it's such a pure punk record to me. I don't know. Like, I agree that it's just, it feels kind of grimy. It doesn't feel like they fine tune every last little thing, but god damn, like the music is so good and the delivery is so good. And it just feels so like the new breed, which is funny to think that you mentioned they're not active anymore, but I feel like they're kind of the leader of the pack of a new up and coming breed of punk bands that are like doing their thing, a lot of them on Unlawful Assembly, funny enough. But this record, just from the first, like when I heard it, opening track, you mentioned it earlier, is my song of the year. I think it's called Kill the Pig, but it's just like, it's the most repeated song for me. It's just such a gnarly, fun song. And you just can instantly, it just takes you to a live show. It takes you to a basement. It takes you to wherever. And like, you know, I was like walking my dog one night when I listened to it for the first time, and I felt like I started sweating halfway through because it was just like I was getting so fucking pumped hearing it. Which, you know, the only other point I would make about it is, you know, for a band that's so strong live and I think has such a strong live reputation, I think they somehow managed to capture that on this record. Like, I don't think that's always an easy task. I don't think everyone always pulls it off, but this to me just like perfectly encapsulated it. So yeah, my number one, Nekron 9, People Die.
Nice.
What a record. What a record.
All right. Possibly the last pick of the day, unless we decide to do a bonus round of honorable mentions.
I'm bonus. Way down for one honorable mention if you guys are, but I'll leave it.
All right.
Cool. All right. So to me, there was absolutely no doubt what my number one record of 2025 is. I love this record. It's not come up yet, so maybe y'all hate it. I think a lot of people
Oh, man.
Steroid Chain.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
I fucking love this record. I loved it from the moment I heard it. You know, it's the sort of tagline for it is that it's new wave of British heavy metal or classic heavy metal mixed with egg punk, which who cares? I don't have a horse in that race, you know, as far as the style, but man, these songs, they just feel like classics to me. You know, they're very simple. You kind of know all the words after you listen to the album 2 or 3 times, and then you just get to sing along and join in. And the vocals are all like pitch shifted up super high, so it sounds insane. And it's you know, it's fun to make a crazy voice like that and sing along. You know, the songs, the lyrics are really simple on the surface, but like they still kind of have this weird weight to them. Mm-hmm. Like they're very nostalgic for this sort of like bygone era of heavy metal that maybe existed, maybe didn't, but it just, you know, it makes me think about like childhood and simpler times. Wow. And okay. Like it takes me somewhere. And my friend Zach, who does this podcast 185 Miles South, he said this record was like a warm blanket, that it's just like auditory comfort. And to me, it's just like, it's straight up a happy pill. I put on this record and I just experience joy. Even today, like I hadn't listened to it prepping my list, and I was at the gym today and I was sort of like struggling to meet my goal. And I was like, oh, let me listen to the Steroid record. And it's like, I did like 20 minutes extra, like on the Stairmaster, because I was just like, yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of people think this record's cheesy. You know, probably a lot of people listen to it one time and are like, fuck this. But it is my favorite record of the year.
That's
it's
beautiful,
awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
I've been, okay, a few people have been like saying to me, this is like right up your alley. And I put off listening to it online. I want to wait till I get a physical copy, but can't get a physical copy. So I might have to cheat and listen to it on at some point.
Yeah. It's definitely like, you may hate it. It's a love it or hate it thing, but I know what side I'm on.
Okay.
You mentioning that you listen to it at the gym is so funny to me, because I'm like, I could see this record during like a training montage in like an 80s commando movie. Like that would be perfectly suited for this. So
100%.
Very appropriate. Well,
like the Karate Kid or something.
Yes.
I have a different kind of steroid that pumps me up at the
yeah.
Not your traditional steroid.
Exactly.
Cool.
There we have it. That was our top 10 each picks of the best albums of 2025. We had a few similar picks. We had some wildly different picks, which is exactly the way I wanted it to be. Do we have an honorable mention? If you don't, it's okay. Like, does anybody have an honorable mention? Yes,
I've got one big one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's do it.
Do you want to start, or are you good?
You do yours, because I got to think what mine's going to be.
Okay. Well, so my honorable mention is a repeat, and it is Watch It Die.
Nice.
I'm gonna try and keep this brief, because like I was thinking about this and trying to think of how to articulate it. I could go deep on this one, but
right. I know.
You know, I think in any other year, this is an easy number one, an easy top three. This year in particular was, for personal and larger reasons, not the best year for me. And I think a lot of people felt that way. And I just wanted to fucking stew this year. I just wanted to wallow. I didn't want to feel upbeat most of the time. I didn't want to feel happy and joyful. Like, I wanted to listen to shit that felt as like gross kind of as I did. Like, I think a lot of my picks felt really raw and just really like pissed off, and that's how I wanted to feel. This record is not that. This is like, I put this on when I got it, and I listened to it all the way through, and it made me emotional, and it made me feel hopeful, and it made me feel upbeat. I was like dancing around to it with the dogs and shit, and I love that. But that is just like, it's just not what I wanted this year. Like, personally, like, this is a beautiful record with beautiful songs made by like beautiful people, and I want ugly right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I had to choose this as an honorable mention, just because it didn't fit with like the vibe for me this year. But it deserves to be spoken about, because I agree with everything you said. I think this is a phenomenal record. I think it is like going to do big things for them, if they want big things, whatever that looks like. And I just think they've congealed to a point now where I'm like, I hear the influences and I hear the little Easter eggs, but it's like they sound like Homefront now. Fully, they've like formed, like the transformer is complete. Like, I think you know, there was a lot more homage feelings in their past stuff, like on Games of Power. Like there was one song that was like a straight up suicide song, not Born Killer, I don't know what it was called, but it was very much like an homage to that, and I loved that. This, though, to me just felt like, ooh, this is just sounds like Homefront. I'm gonna now compare other bands to Homefront with this one, which I think is like a peak to hit for a punk band. But anyways, I could go on. I will cut myself off.
It's a tough one.
Big shout out.
I get tongue tied. I actually start feeling emotional when I start talking about this record, and I can't concentrate my thoughts. I don't know why. I went to see him in April when they came here, and I was like dancing. I was laughing. I was also crying for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just happened. I don't know.
Yeah. Seeing them live is like going to church sometimes, man. It's an experience for sure.
All right, Daniel, do you have a
I got a little stack.
A little stack?
Bring it.
Honorable mentions. I'll fly through them.
Okay, nice.
I didn't put together my honorable mentions until today.
Okay.
And there are two records that I think are in my listening stack at work, because I could not find them here.
Okay.
And I want to shout them out. One is the Dark Thoughts record, which fortunately came up in Mike's list.
That's okay.
Other one is Perverts Again, The New Man. Like, I'm a huge fan of that crew of people, and that was my favorite record that they put out this year. The song about curse words will follow me to my grave. I fucking love it.
Sorry, say that. What was it one more time? The last one you just said?
Again.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's called The New Man.
Awesome.
Then I wanted to shout out Plasma. I was going to say, if I didn't put this out, it would have been like, number 1 or number 2. I love this record.
Yeah.
So I try to have some decorum and not hype my own shit. Next up, Vile Valavuo's solo album.
Oh,
yeah.
Ulasetsu, Koti Tua, Foreseen. This is kind of like spiritual jazz for anarcho punks. I listen to it all the time. I love it. Alienator, Meat Locker. The band's vibe, I saw that.
Yeah, there it is.
It's kind of weird with all of their muscles and manliness. But if you're letting that turn you off and not listening to the music, like, you're missing out on some good shit.
Awesome.
Soga from Mexico City, long-awaited debut LP. Spent super like vibey, weird hardcore. Kind of reminds me of like Tootsie Bobby from Yugoslavia. Very cool record. And then
Is that Iron Lung that
yes,
right, put that one out?
the last one was the Berserk.
That was shown last night on the podcast last night.
Yeah, cool. I haven't watched last night's yet.
Justin Briggs. Yeah, that's amazing.
Cool.
That's a nice coincidence. Yeah.
Gnarly Chaos UK influence stuff with a member of Blood Crow Butcher and Sorry States.
That's great. That's a nice tie-in from yesterday's show. Amazing.
Cool.
I've got a little stack I'm going to zip through. Youth of today on hard drugs.
Yes.
Illiterates. Sorry State Records. There you go. Killer record. Cult Crime from Canada.
Ooh,
super snotty, like garage punk, 77 punk on Ugly Pop Records was another great one. Rock and Roll on Static Shock Records. Another Canadian puffer. Party time with this record. The New Radioactivity, I think, is a great record. It's a lot mellower than their old stuff, but I think the songwriting is amazing. I haven't listened to it as much as I would have liked to yet, but I think I'm going to listen to this one more. Mellower. He's leaning more into the 60s kind of side, but Radioactivity. And my last mention is going to be a record that I played to death when it came out. It's from Spain. It's pop punk, but it's beautiful. It's the Zero Azucar record with members of Accidente that our good friend Daniel Zambrano helped put out. And he's had a difficult year too. And I didn't want to miss this one out of the list because it's fucking great pop punk, the way that pop punk should be. Like Accidente. It's Accidente, man. Remember that. So I've got some more, but I think let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching, everybody. We've had a great time talking about our favorite records of the year. Let us know what your favorites are in the comments. We've probably missed a whole ton. Thanks for tuning in. Next, what you're listening to is in 2 weeks, December 26th, 10 p.m. So check it out live on the Analog Attack YouTube channel at 10 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching. We're going to take off now. See you later.